Hello everyone and welcome back to Pedal to the Metal Racing. Tonight is our first episode of our brand new series of our channel, the podcast series. This is indeed episode 1, and it's for anyone that is unaware of what we are up to here in this case. Basically, we are going to be talking about the Final Four tonight in our main subject part. We will also be talking about what we want to do with this podcast and where we really want to go with the league as we continue on. I will have guest commentators and other broadcasters from previous events coming in to talk with me, as well as the playoff drivers right now, as we stand in the PTM playoff series for the final races tomorrow night. We will be having Crusader, Pottles, JD Atkins, and Archon battling for that final win of the season, if not being ahead of one another. And into the Cup Series the very next night on Monday night, we will have in the Cup Custom, Archon, Dial, Pottles, and King Joey as well, battling and duking it out for that win there. And finally, on Tuesday, we will have in Xfinity, Pendle, Rowdy, Thunder, and Dylan battling it out for the big win there. As we said before, folks, this is a brand new part of our series. This is the podcast part. What our main goal is in this case is to start up a way to talk to other league owners and drivers and their thoughts and their experiences with their league and what they go through and the struggles and the endurance it takes to just even get this league to work out, or to get any league for that matter to work and still be able to keep drivers. It is a hard road and a hard thing to work on, no matter how it goes for us in any league, and especially for this one after 4 years of experience and all that. It has been one of the hardest things ever to do, which is keep drivers and still keep the league very fun and active as we as drivers evolve and get better on the track. But the big thing for us, besides obviously the fact that we are going to be talking about the major picture tonight, is why a podcast? Well, the reason why we're doing a podcast is because, again, it gets out more to show the fans and the other drivers how much this series means to us, how much this league really is, and what it's worth with not only our sponsors and our other great drivers that we run with, but we also want to show that to our fans as well, that what is going on behind the scenes that you don't see as much as anything, because these drivers really do put a lot of time and effort in, more than most people realize, just trying to put on a good show and still put on a good race for the fans watching at home, for the people all across the United States and the world for that matter. It is definitely something that we feel as though it's now time to really explore and go through, as we explore and go through with you as well. Where plans currently are still, we're trying to figure out if we want to do this weekly or bi-weekly. We're still figuring that as we go, but we do promise that once you hop on this podcast, if you are listening here live right now or later in the day or time and place, it don't matter, we do hope that you enjoy listening to everybody's take on who is in the series, in the Cup, in the Xfinity, in the trucks, as they duke it out for the playoffs picture, as well as other series going on tonight. With that in mind, folks, I believe we are pretty much gotten that part out for the podcast. I think it's time to start bringing in our drivers for the playoffs picture, and we're going to ask them a few questions about what it means to be in this series and in these races as they get into the final section. Right now, I believe we're going to have our first combatant will be in the truck series. I do know I'm already in it, but I would like to talk to one of my other guests here. So let's bring in our first guest. All right, I believe we have Pottles on, correct?
Yes.
All right, Pottles. Welcome to the PTM Podcast. Obviously, it's great to have you, as always. We love racing with you, and we also love talking with you. Great to have you on the show today.
Thanks. Sorry, I was just trying to get that stuff still up.
That's all right. We're still working out the kinks and everything, so it happens. But, Pottles,
Okay.
It's been 4 years since you started this league, and I gotta believe you've been through a lot of season championship races and just event and seasons where you've been either at the top or right in that line of racing that just gets you knowing how much these drivers really want to win that final race of the season. So, what's your take on really getting into the playoffs and even winning it in your mind?
Well, I was lucky to get in for last season I had. It wasn't a really good one, but I'm in the trucks and I'm in the cup. So winning the trucks is going to be a bit tough because we do have Archon. He's dominated the whole truck season, so
Yes,
don't really
Archon.
mind that one. So, but
Hmm.
Cup, I am going to really try for that one. I think my chances may be good there, but there's still some good competition in that one too.
Yes, Archon has definitely been one of the toughest series of drivers in the series. He's actually one of the only two drivers, you being the other, that has made into two or one or more of the playoff pictures. He's pretty much been the dominator, as I called him on the broadcast, for this entire season for trucks because of how many wins he's got and all that. But do you think going into Homestead, Miami, that you have possibly a chance to take him out there, or do you think you're going to be better off, like you said, in Cup with, I believe we're running Auto Club that time?
Yeah, it's going to be Auto Club, but yeah, I feel I'm better off in Cup. I really like custom setups and I'm a lot better on them. But for some reason presets, I'm burning that right front tire a lot more faster than what anyone else is. So I think that's gonna, if we do green flag runs like we've been doing all season, that's what's gonna play a factor for me is that right front is gonna burn. And I think that's what's gonna make my championship growth window. So like I said, I'm just gonna go for Cup.
We certainly hope he can pull off a great finish at the end for either Trucks or Cup. As a competitor and as a racer as well in that series, my best wishes to you and good luck tomorrow night at Homestead. I'm hoping for some damn good racing there.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Why don't we bring in our next combatant and one of our other drivers here? Who we got on the line right now? Let's see,
As of right
maybe
now, looks like Archon's here. I guess he can answer some questions for the trucks in the Cup.
the Dominator Archon. How are you doing, sir? Not too bad, sir. All right, so I asked Piles this. I'm gonna ask you the same thing. You pretty much are one of the only two drivers, obviously you and Pottles, that have made it into the Trucks and Cup series. The only two drivers that made it into two series for the final race. But in Trucks, I feel like you've been an absolute workhorse and a dominator in that series, to say the least, with your wins and credibility there. Do you think, like what Pottles said, do you think you have a better chance to win at Trucks, or do you feel like you'd be better off in Cup? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is hard to stay mistake free on any track for that matter. It seems like even with whether you're driving a controller or a wheel, it doesn't really matter what you'll use on either setup. But it always seems like every track, it has that sweet spot you want to keep hitting every time. But there's also that issue in your mind of just thinking, oh, okay, how much am I going to burn my tires up, or how much am I going to put too much pressure onto my springs that are going to burn up my car and get me loose and get me tight. I think that's one thing a lot of folks out there that watch our series and watch our races don't quite understand, because they're not behind the wheel of us as drivers, is that we actually tear these trucks and cars apart because of how much we try to put them to the limit and how much we're trying to just stay ahead of one another or just trying to get that win. So, but yeah, you said pretty much you're looking more towards trucks, but the Cup, we're in Auto Club, I believe, for that. Pottle said she is very comfortable with Cup and that she feels as though she has a better chance to win there. What's your take on Auto Club? Yeah, it definitely will be quite a story to be told if one of you two drivers can pull off the win in trucks or cup. I guess I'll get my 50 cents in worth because we're about to end up with the trucks here. For me in trucks, tomorrow night, like I told Pottles, I wish her nothing but the best of luck and some damn good racing. And Archon, I'm going to wish you the same thing because honestly, when we're going in tomorrow, I'm not going to lie, I'm aiming for you top 3 drivers because I may be the rookie, but I'm looking towards getting my first season championship in, and I'm hoping that I can make a name for myself considering where I came from and where I started, and just hopefully it can all end well for me. But if I can't win, I always want to see one of the other 3 drivers give their all and put on a show for the fans. To me, that's what it's all about, right? Yeah, that was I think that was kind of the thing for ISM was just we all raced hard that night. Piles had some bad luck. I know you had burned your tires up. I believe JKR was really making a run that night, try to get around everybody. King Joey was definitely fighting me, and I just, like I told everyone, I try to stay humble about it too, like you do. But I got really lucky that last lap that I got into the final turn 4, and I was able to at least push it ahead to the finish line. But I don't think I'll ever forget that. As that might be the one thing this whole season I'll never forget is just the fact that I was able to get that win in the way I did.
So Crusader, how do you feel? We gotta ask you too, because you are the top 4 driver in trucks, and this is your first full season with us. And for someone to come in just like that and make it into the top 4 with all the good competition we got, how do you feel about coming into the championship with me, Archon, and
JD Atkins.
there you
Uh, well, my first thought was like, wait, really? Did I just made the top 4 after ISM? Because that was like to me not even what I was trying to do. I was just trying to see if I can get a win and see if I can actually end my career on a top hat. Really finishing where I did and then getting into the top 4. I feel very humble. At the same time, I extremely am satisfied knowing that this is just my rookie season. And with the tough competitors in developmental and the rookie series we got coming up, the semi-pros and the Xfinity, and of course you guys running the Pro Cup, I'm extremely excited to see what happens next season, but also still just trying to stay really, really focused on what's going to come up tomorrow, especially with everything that's happened in my year. I think winning tomorrow would mean everything to me.
Okay, and so for another top 4 driver, but it's going to be in the Cup Series, we do have King Joey here. And Crusader, you can go ahead and ask him all the questions.
All
You got a
right.
copy?
Yeah, probably best to not have me talking the whole time about myself. So, King Joey, how you doing today, sir?
You got a copy? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you right here, buddy.
I'm doing good. You?
I sound pretty good myself. Well, I gotta ask you, King Joey. I think you've made it into the playoffs picture quite a few times with this series after all the seasons we've ran and everything. But I gotta ask you, what does it mean to get into the Custom Cup series, knowing that next year this is literally going to be the pros level, the top tier for you drivers?
Definitely the competition that's at the Custom Cup level is, as good as it gets. You got Archon, which I'd kind of compare him to Kyle Busch, and you got, Dial. He's another top 4 driver, kind of like a Martin Truex. I just got lucky and was able to pull out some good finishes and get some points there at the end and get in this thing. When you get in the top 4 of the Custom Cup, you feel like you pretty much accomplished something pretty big. Every race is a fight, and for people to come out and win multiple races and stuff really shows how they understand how the cars handle the custom setups, how to build setups. So it really shows what kind of driver you got in the car, and Just a great group of people. I mean, it's very clean, competitive, but we all get along, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the one thing about this league I think a lot of people are not aware of, and I feel like in another future topic we will really talk about. But to kind of like make a long story short, this league, in my opinion, is one of the hardest driving leagues, as much as it's one of the cleanest leagues I think you'll find out there. That makes it so worth it and worth everyone's time to go and try out. But well, I think it's really safe for another story, another time. But King Joey, I want to thank you again for having you on tonight in the podcast for the first time ever. We wish you the best of luck in Custom Cup, and hopefully come Monday you get the W or one of your competitors put on a show with you.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I've already had Archon and King Joey on the Cup, and trucks are pretty much good to go. I think it's time to move on to the Xfinity Series here, and I do believe we have Thunder in the chat here. Thunder, are you with us right now?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing today, sir?
Good.
Awesome.
So for my first Busch Light. Moved on to the second one.
It's a good thing we're in the party chat right now. Otherwise, I'd have to
Got done eating a ham sandwich.
Oh Lord, we get in so much trouble. You're doing this on live television. I'm doing pretty good, and been quite a
Who's
day.
all here with us?
We got a few of them here with us today. But I think we kind of want to keep it on topic here, Thunder. I just got a few questions for you here, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, so Thunder, right now, if I remember right, you were the third driver to make it into the top four for Xfinity, just behind Pendle and Rowdy. What does it mean for you when you're going to go in on Tuesday night to race for the championship?
It's my second season in a row making it to the Final Four. It's just they're just tough to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Pendle. And Rowdy's really came to his own. I don't know if he raced with us last season or not, but he's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan's Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan is. I've kind of already called him a bunch of things, but he's definitely a good racer and a hard driver to say the least on the track. So you can't take anything away from him. But is there anything special that you feel like you need to do when you're at Kansas, or do you feel like it's just race what you got?
Just keep the high side. It's like the only track it really works well at. Just fight for every position really. If you get up front, especially at third stage, you gotta know what your tires are gonna do, and you just gotta protect that high side. But to prepare, really, I'm just gonna go in it like any other race.
Yeah, that definitely kind of is the mindset for a lot of drivers out there, and I think especially how hard it is to really stay focused on that because of all the hours we put in, all the steps we do, the tuning and everything. And I kind of said it earlier, but just the amount of pressure we put on these cars and the amount of work we do, it never gets any easier. It seems to always get harder on us, but we as drivers and as competitors, it seems to get better every time.
Yeah, I'm going to be racing injured. I smashed the crap out of my freaking finger today with a hammer. It was on my left hand. I was like, oh, God, I got a championship race coming up. It hurts. I can't hardly grip my wheel.
Without getting too talkative, I'll definitely say I'm not in the same boat as you, but I've had some experiences today as it is, and I scared myself crazy when I thought, oh my God, what I've been doing today, I might not even make it. I might not even make it tomorrow night.
I smashed the crap out of it. The top of my fingernail's purple, and I got like a blood blister on both sides. I mean, I knocked the shit out of it.
All right. Well, Thunder,
I'm gonna try my best, but yeah, I look forward to it. Maybe I can finally get it done.
Absolutely, man. And again, we love having you as a competitor. I don't think I ever told Archon and Pottles, but I absolutely love having them on the shows, on the broadcast, having them as competitors. They always seem to put on a show and really give us quite the fight, to say the least, on the track. So, Thunder, the best of luck to you at Kansas. Good luck out there, and congratulations on our top 4 series.
All right, thanks, man.
Absolutely. All right. Well, to finish out the Xfinity tonight, and then we'll get to some questions and even some folks saying, hey, who's going to win? Who's going to be the victor at Trucks, Cup, and Xfinity? But our last guest tonight, before we get to all of that, is indeed Dylan of the number 9 car. He is in Xfinity, and he was the last driver to get in there after Charlotte last Tuesday. Dylan, are you on the chat with us, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. Congratulations again, and welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today, buddy?
Thank you. Pretty good. You?
Too bad. All right, buddy. So I've been asking this all the way for everybody, but pretty much, what's your feelings and your emotions going in to the final race come Tuesday night at Kansas for Xfinity?
Well, for one, I love the track, so hopefully we run good, and hopefully I can stay out in front of the rest of the 3.
Yes, that'll definitely be the way to go around here. But I already asked Thunder about how he was going to run Kansas. Are you kind of do the same thing what he's doing, try to take the outside line, or are you going to try something totally different that's going to throw these guys off their game?
Definitely the high line. I think works better for me. I've tried middle, I tried down low. It's just not the same.
Yeah.
But definitely high line.
Yeah, it seems like Kansas, a lot of people, they never really take the middle or bottom, which I think in the right circumstances could be worked out. But in all honesty, the high line is the preferred method to run Kansas, which, it makes sense in all honesty, considering the way it's set up. But I definitely could say, though, out of this whole series and broadcasting live and watching you, I can see, Dylan, you definitely have had quite the season, not just in the Xfinity, but in the Cup and even running some truck series. I wish the best of luck to you when you get to Kansas on Tuesday, and all the best racing to you, man, as well as everyone else in that competition.
All right, thanks, bud.
All right, guys. Well, that is about do it for the playoff picture. That is everyone that we can get on tonight. So why don't we get some other guys in here from our actual competitors and the league itself. So we got a few on right now. I believe we're going to go and talk with Grandpa's Wasted here. Grandpa, how are you doing today, buddy? Not doing too bad either, buddy. It's good to have you on the channel with us today. So I just wanted to kind of bring you in and kind of talk about how you feel about this series and how you felt about this league throughout the entire season before I ask you a few questions.
It's been a rough season for myself. Just a lot of wrecks, a lot of bad luck. Just want to thank Thunder Funk Motorsports for allowing me to come out and embarrass myself.
Yeah, it's you can't blame Thunder for having to
Don't laugh at the drivers.
not trying to laugh at the drivers. It's just kind of funny with the way you put it there. All right, being serious again. Yeah, Thunder Funk definitely is probably one of our top competitors that really kept everybody in line this season and gave quite the showing. But Grandpa, I gotta ask you, there is an elite field going into Trucks Cup and Xfinity, and what's your thoughts on who will win in the Trucks Cup and Xfinity?
I'll tell you what, any of the 4 drivers in any series, I like them all. I think that Archon, he's a brilliant driver and step above everybody else this whole season.
I did.
So, but everybody. To me, I can't pick any certain person in any of the series just because I mean they're all great drivers and I don't want any of them to put me in the wall either.
I think you're kind of safe on here right now, but I don't think they'll go after you too much for this season. I think next season you might have to worry about that, but so all right. Well, Grandpa, before you go, I just want to say thanks again for hopping on tonight with for the first episode of the podcast. You always love racing against you. You're a hard racer and always really putting up the momentum and some hard, clean side-by-side racing every now and then. I got nothing but respect for you, man. Best of luck next season.
Thanks, and I'm gonna go have a little highlight now.
And go enjoy that drink,
Jesus.
buddy. All right. Well, folks, I think it's now time to bring in Sean Siddle here. Sean, are you with us right now?
Oh no, yeah, I am.
Oh,
I wasn't expecting it.
we want to at least get one or two more drivers in here to have some talk. So,
Oh dear.
so Sean, I gotta ask you how you been this season, buddy.
Well, I haven't ridden with you yet, so I'll have to wait and see what I'm like when I start, to be honest. And I've only seen 2 races this season, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely. Every time it seems like I race you and you and I get on the track, it seems like it's definitely a lot of work to be done. And I think anytime you're racing against Archon, Pottles, JD, and King Joey, and them, they always will put up a fight with you. And it seems like no matter what we do, every week in and week out, there's always a battle, to say the least, with us.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. All right. So, sorry, it's the first time on the episode of the podcast. So, before you go, though, I kind of want to ask you. So, the Trucks and Cup Xfinity. If you don't know who's in who, I'll explain real quick. So, in the Trucks, you got me in the 19, then Archon 24, JD Atkins number 3, and then Pottles in the 10. And then Cup, you got for custom, you got Archon 21, Dial 12, Pottles 4, and King Joey in the 11. And then, of course, Xfinity, you got Pendle in the 42, Rowdy in the 2, Thunder in the 38, and Dylan in the number 9. Out of that field of all 3 series, which one stands out to you or looks to have each track figured out to win that night?
Well, I reckon on your Xfinity, the dude that you called your box of chocolates, I think he's got it sorted out.
For anyone that's trying to figure that out, I call Dylan my box of chocolates because I don't know. There's times like he races so well and so clean and perfect, like he has everything figured out, and then there's times like one little hiccup or mistake just ruins his entire night. So that was my reference to the box of chocolates for everyone that's curious out there. And to Archon, I called him a rattlesnake because he has this tendency where he will outrace you in the first half, but then in the second half, something just strikes within him, and he just after a recoil, he just goes and strikes on you as quick as he can to take the lead from you. That's hence why I gave him the old rattlesnake advantage there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to sitting in the booth with you.
Yeah, I can't wait to run with you as well. Before you go, you said Archon was the one guy you said that looked good in Trucks and Cup, or?
Oh, I don't know. I've not watched Trucks or Cup Series, so I can't really say. But looking at the tables, I think Archon's got the trucks. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I could definitely say, I think for me, Pottles and JD Atkins, we want to prove you wrong tomorrow night, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, I'm not going to say you because, don't want to make your head bigger.
Fair enough. All right. Well, yeah. Sean. Well, before we go, I just kind of want to ask about Xfinity. What do you think's going to win there? Because we never really got to it, Grandpa.
Wait, what?
Who do you think's Xfinity? Who's going to win there?
I said your box of chocolates for Xfinity.
So basically, Dylan, everybody. All right. Okay, so I think we'll probably end that with you right there, man. So I appreciate you racing this entire season, though. Been an absolute pleasure racing with you. Can't wait to see how things go for you. So.
Oh, thanks. I'll do my best.
All right. Well, folks, I think that is going to wrap it up about this tonight for episode 1. We do greatly appreciate everyone that tuned in.
Our sponsors.
I was going to get to them here in just a minute. So, am I allowed to talk about our new ones?
Archon.
Yes. Archon.
I think Archon should get the pleasure to do that one because he can give that.
But before Archon does it, I want to give a special thanks real quick to our sponsor that came before anyone and that really showed off what this league can prove. We got to give a very special thank you to Dirt Tracking for sponsoring this league. For your mobile and Android and iOS devices on the Google and Apple Play Store. If you're looking for a great dirt track racing game on the go because you can't be at the track or you can't race with us, look no further than Dirt Tracking for your mobile, iOS, and Apple Store devices. And now, Archon, I need to give you the floor so you can give ourselves the new sponsors.
they located to? You don't have to get to the actual town, just whatever.
Oh. um, Again, yep, we do want to give a very...
Crusader, did you want to repeat that sponsor? Because people are saying they cannot hear Archon very well.
I was believing I was going to get to that as well. Yep, I would love to thank them again. So a very big special and thank you to Courtesy Chrysler and Jeep dealership for sponsoring us throughout the rest of the season as well into next season. Again, if you're looking for a good Jeep, or Chrysler at a good price, check them out over at Archon. Where'd you say they were from again? Go to Pennsylvania. Okay. All right. So again, everyone, before we go, just want to give one more shout out to everybody. Thank you again to everyone that tuned in tonight for the live podcast. Again, thank you to Poddles, Archon, Sean Siddle, Grandpa's Wasted, Dylan, Thunder for joining me tonight and being able to talk about your experiences with this league. We hope to have another great episode waiting for you again. Again, special thanks again to our sponsors at Dirt Tracking and Courtesy Chrysler and Jeep. From all of us here at PTM Racing, we thank you again for your support. We love you guys out there. Stay safe until the green flag flies tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.